How's it going, everyone? Hope you're doing well. Over the past month, I've been speedrunning the Super Mario World 11 Exit Cloud category with an ultimate goal of trying to get a time under 10 minutes. Last night I finally broke this goal with a 9:58 time, and I thought that this was a big enough of an accomplishment to be worthy of an upload here. I asked many people if they wanted a commentated video of this run, and they said yes. Let me know if you disagree, but in the future I'll probably commentate other big speedrun goals, such as when I finally get my goal of under 5 minutes in the Super Mario Bros. Any percent category. So, enjoy the video. I have been speedrunning this game for over 5 years, and I finally did a category variant that I thought I would never touch, 11 Exit Cloud. Yoshi's Island 2 is where the beginning of the cloud glitch starts, and you'll see that I immediately start the level by hitting certain Koopas in order to manipulate the game's memory. This is the fastest setup that involves not slowing down. What I'm performing now, in a second here, is what is called an item swap, where I'm gonna have to eat a chuck with Yoshi and collect a power-up from it. And you can see that I quickly press the shoulder buttons on the controller during the swap. In order for the trick to work, I need to quickly press only the buttons R, L, and X. I remember in this run I said that I'm not sure if this will work, and that's because hitting the 2 Koopas at the beginning is normally not part of my fast setup. But sometimes the game's memory is still set up properly, even if you do the setup that you don't expect to do. If you want a greater explanation of the glitch, I would recommend my video covering the history of Super Mario World Any percent, and I'll add that down below. Anyways, the glitched out mess I have in my item box is called a cloud, and it's the same cloud that Lakitu rides. I'll explain that when we enter Bowser, but for now, we're in Yoshi's Island 3, which isn't too bad. Newer runners will find it tricky with the constant jumping, but the key here is to run on the brown moving platforms as much as possible in order to maximize the boost that they give you. And this allows you to get a 2:59 in-game time instead of a 2:58 if you were to just jump right away on all the platforms. So, again, it's World 1. Definitely the first level is where all the action is in this category with Cloud. Just getting the item swap can be a bit annoying. Yoshi's Island 3 isn't too bad, or sorry, Yoshi's Island 4 isn't that bad either. Really the only thing to worry about here is just jumping out of the water right there. Really not too bad. There is a trick called a shell jump where you can actually get a quick jump off the shell and skip going into the water. But it is a bit tricky. It involves some very tight jumping. You have to like hold back left for a few frames in the air. It's not the hardest trick in the world, but it's not really enough time saved to make it worth constantly going for. Maybe in the future, I'll go for it on runs that aren't as good, but for now, I'm just gonna opt out of it. Anyways, beginning of Iggy, you quickly are just jumping and climbing off of cages as quickly as possible. And you're gonna see here that I avoid the midway, because I'm gonna be grabbing a cape in Donut Plains 1, and if I have a mushroom while grabbing a cape, it will overwrite my cloud power-up, so the reason why I skipped the midway is because I want to keep my cloud. I don't want it to be overridden at all. And I don't know who decided to put an auto-scroller in World 1, but it is a bit annoying. It's not too long though, at least it's just one room. The Iggy fight here is a bit tricky. For my third hit there on Iggy, I kinda tap B really quickly, because if I jump too quickly, Iggy won't actually move at all. I have to actually wait in order to bounce him to the left. The boss can be a bit finicky jumping. You kind of have to learn when to delay your jumps. And you'll see there on my split that I'm actually like half a second behind my best split, and that's because my Yoshi's Island 2 wasn't the fastest. And I also didn't get a trick called Fast Yoshi, which involves spawning 2 Yoshis, and makes Yoshi spawn twice as fast. That would save me half a second, but I really don't need a PB. I just go for it sometimes because I'm 40% consistent at it, but maybe in the future I'll go for it more. Anyways, Donut Plains 1, the cape is introduced. Here I'm worrying about my flight speed, and when holding right with a cape, Mario's flight speed flickers between values of 47 and 51. In a speedrun, my goal is obviously to get 51 if I can. When I first grabbed the cape, you may have seen that I quickly tapped right again, and this is because I knew that I had slow flight speed. I can tell how fast I'm going based off how much the items on screen are jittering. Luckily, when I readjusted though, I seemed to get faster flight, so that worked out. 362 is optimal. That means you got a fast flight speed there. If you get slow flight, you're either going to get 361 or 360 based off what speed that was. Here's the first out of 2 water levels in this run. Minor trick here, but if you swim upwards against the wall, like you can see right there, you can get pushed up a bit, or to the right a bit, and you can actually save a few frames. Very minor, but it's cool. I'm entering this room here to grab a red shell so that I can swim faster in the water when I get back out. What I'm worrying about here is not losing my shell from hitting a fish. Mario's cape hitbox moves back and forth every 4 frames, so if my cape hitbox is on the wrong side, the fish will just take the shell. Luckily I had no trouble here. I did have a little trouble grabbing the key actually right away, but I recovered and I still got a 257. 258 is the optimal time here. My PB has a 256, so that's still good. The main thing in Ghost House is just maneuvering through boo rings. You see I do a quick cape cancel on the boo ring there. Not too bad, entering the door. And you're going to see in room 2 that I'm going to do a quick right-left tap when I jump to make sure that I don't run into that boo ring, because if you just hold a left, you're probably going to run into it. I had a pretty slow door entrance you're going to see here. I accidentally didn't hold jump for as long, so I scraped the floor a bit. But overall, I still had a pretty good split here. The fight is pretty easy, it's self-explanatory. You just gotta throw the block up at the boo at the right time. Really, not too much to say here. I can't complain about the split. Like, honestly, the biggest mistake was just quickly not grabbing the key in Donut Secret 1 and having a slightly sloppy ending in Ghost House. But that's very minor. Having a really good Donut Secret 1 really carries the split. And you'll see that I am actually going to be in the green. This is one of my better World 2 splits. But Star World 1 is about to come up, and that's one of my biggest roadblocks in this category. I do a trick called Zips, where I skip through these blocks with my cape to get a faster time. Ideally, you want a 291. My best in runs is 290, so getting a 289 here is great. You can see that I had a bit of trouble, though, grabbing the key right away, so that's what probably cost the 90. If you want an explanation for why the blocks get pushed like that, the game's programmed to have only 4 blocks spin at a time, and you can exploit this with a cape and spin more than 4 blocks and make them push you. Star World 2 is a calmer point in the run. You can swim just above the level here the whole time, and you just need to time when to swim back down. I use one of the groups of green fish here to know when to do that. And you'll see at the very end here that I'm just going to quickly swap Yoshi with the key. I have had it go wrong, but it's not the worst thing. Luckily, everything worked out there, though. Things were just fine. Star World 3 is short but important. You're going to see that I'm going to intentionally keep my P-speed. I'm going to hit the key block, I'm going to ditch the switch and get cape flight and then item fly into the keyhole. This can go very wrong, and it has many times because of how quick it is. But luckily, that was very clean. I'm very happy with that. Star World 4 is very similar to Donut Plains 1. I'm just worrying about getting fast flight. This was similar to Donut Plains, where I was slow at first, but then I quickly adjusted to get fast flight. I got really lucky with speeds during this run. This made me close to a second ahead of PB out of Star World, I believe. If we see here in a second, you'll see that I got 272. That's an optimal time for fast flight. And I should be just about a second. I'm pretty sure I'm like 0.8 at this point. Here we go. And now we got Bowser, which is where all the action goes. This is where 90% of my PB attempts are going to die if they survive out of Star World. You're going to see in both these doors that I abuse a mechanic where I can preserve flight through doors by timing the spin jump into the doors. These flight timings have gone so wrong many times just because of how quick they are, and if you're just, if you're not paying attention, you can mess it up. Especially door 7. Again, I'm happy though. And the fireballs in door 7 also actually have different patterns based off global timers, but luckily I got a nice pattern there. Dark Room really tests your flight knowledge. There's a lot of quick timed jumps. I think here, you're going to see I accidentally let go of X and I lost P speed, but I recovered pretty quickly. A very minor time loss, maybe like half a second. And time for Cloud. So, this Cloud is going to allow me to finish the Bowser fight in around 1 minute instead of closer to 2. And moving the Cloud to the left side of the screen at the right time is going to allow me to skip Bowser's animations. A lot can go wrong here, and if you don't nail these animation skips right away, you'll probably get thrown off. You can see here that I don't get the proper phase skip here right away. You'll see a few fireballs. It's because I wasn't far enough to the left. Luckily though, I was quick enough to recover, and the rest of the run is pretty good. So I think at this point, I'm just going to let you enjoy the end here, just show you my reaction. I hope you enjoyed my commentary, and let me know if you want more of this. Anyways, enjoy this ending.
I did it! I did it! I did it! Yes! 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 Oh! I did it! I did it! Yeah, I fucking did it! I fucking did it! I fucking did it! First run? That was my only second attempt of the day? Oh my god! I literally just turned on stream! That was my first run out of Cloud. I did one attempt that crashed. That was my first run. That was my first actual run of the day. Wait, I didn't get a 9:59. I got a 9:58. Dude, I practiced the hell out of Bowser before I turned on stream, and let me tell you, practice pays off.